I have finally caught up with The Breaker. I have been reading it non-stop. Seriously, like every time I had time, when I wasn't doing reviews or something, or eating or watching shows, I would read The Breaker just to try to catch up. And I have finally caught up with The Breaker New Waves. And I want to tell you right now, a lot better experience than I actually thought. I was half tempted while I was reading this series to make a couple of impressions of certain chapters, but I decided against it because I just wanted to save it for my overall all-around thoughts of The Breaker New Waves. As you already know, if you did not notice, about a couple days ago, I think around last week, I made a Breaker New Waves, like, impressions of the entire first part of The Breaker, like the ending 74 chapters. I made an impression video, and for the most part, it got a lot better than the original The Breaker. It definitely did. It definitely went up into quality, a lot more quality than I actually envisioned. Now, the thing I want to say right now is that I just want to make this like an impressions video. I'm not just going to specifically review the latest chapter, chapter 177. I'm not going to do that because currently there wasn't really much to talk about, because I just want to talk about all the stuff that really happened. I've been reading, and I've decided to hold against it to make an actual impressions video. So today, I'm just going to be talking about certain individual scenes and sections of The Breaker New Waves that really it hyped me up. It really fucking hyped me up, and I was just excited when I was reading this series. Usually, it takes a little bit for me to get into a series, but when I get into it, I will fucking read it. I will definitely read it, like I did with Tokyo Ghoul. And that's exactly what The Breaker New Waves did. I really wish a series like this, honestly, would actually get an anime. But sad enough, it probably won't. Since it's a Korean manhwa, I think that's how you say it. Since it's a Korean manhwa, it won't probably ever have an anime, which is very disappointing, because this series can be so fucking epic. It really could be so badass if it was given a good anime adaptation. But sadly, we probably will never get to see something like that. But it doesn't matter. Still, the series is very good, and I fully recommend this series. This series is definitely fucking good. A lot better than I thought, and it's actually one of the very few series, like, I've only read a handful of manga, or now manhwa, technically, that have had martial arts. I mean, yes, I've seen Dragon Ball Z and stuff, and different, shonen, but I really haven't seen a lot of manga or anime that is centered on martial arts. I have never read much manga that's like this, and The Breaker honestly was an all-new experience for me, especially into Korean manga along with martial arts. I learned a lot of stuff while reading this manhwa. I learned a lot, and it was impressive with how great my experience was with this series, and fully, I would recommend it. Like I said, I fully recommend this series if anyone wanted to get into a martial arts type action battle series. And I guess this could be considered a seinen, actually. I wouldn't really consider this a shonen, since technically the mature themes of it. So yeah, I would probably say this is a seinen or a shonen. But anyways, okay, so I just want to tell you right now, and I want to be literal and be honest with all of you right now that's currently listening to this impressions of The Breaker New Wave, since I finally caught it up. If I mess up any names, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry, okay? I mean, I'm new to manhwa. Like I said, I hope I'm not butchering that name. I'm new to Korean manga. I am. And when I'm looking at Korean names, I don't know how to fucking say it. It's foreign. It's completely foreign to me. I don't know how to pronounce it. And so I will try my best to slightly kind of make it better where it's not completely butchered. But if I butcher the name, like I said, I just want to say my apologies right now. I really want to say my apologies, because it's not that I'm disrespecting any of you, it's because the names, oh my god. It's so hard keeping up with the names of how to pronounce them. But anyways, let's get into the actual focus. Shiwon, our main male character, Shiwon, just to clarify in case I'm saying it wrong. Shiwon, as our main male character, I actually enjoy him as a main character. When the series first started, I covered this a slight bit when I was doing my first impressions of The Breaker, the 74 chapters. I talked about it a bit and said I did not really like Shiwon's character. I didn't. And I'll be completely honest with all of you. I really disliked Shiwon as a character from a personality standpoint, and overall his just way he acted in the first part of The Breaker. I definitely did not like his character. I didn't. But I really started growing fond with Shiwon's character in the later, like, close to the quarter half into the BreakerNW Waves. Because when you saw the overall change to when he became the head of Sunwo, that's right there just shook me. I was shocked with how great of a character change he had. Like, his personality, when he actually became the head of Sunwo, like I said, I was shocked. He changed. He definitely changed. He became more mature. He became more of a, like, grown-up, honestly. He became more of an actual thinkable person, like, that actually thinks ahead. He's not just someone that will go in there, dive and fight, get the shit beat out of him, and just continue fighting. I mean, he's still like that, but, I mean, he's not as bad. He actually thinks, he's smart, he's intelligent, and he is a lot more, I guess, mature when it comes to fighting now. He doesn't just go in and try to think he's going to win against someone that's, like, Grandmaster class. So from this point forward, I just want to tell you, I do like Shiwon as a character. At this moment, I do love his character. But when the series first began, I was not a big fan of him. I wasn't. Until around chapter, probably 100. That's when I really was fully hooked on his character. When I was fully focused on his character and I truly cherished him, was when he made that character development alongside when the Elder died. Elder Jang, I think that's how you say his name. Elder Jang, the dude that died, that protected Shiwon. That death, that's fucked up, man. That was one of the chapters I actually wanted to make an impressions on. I wanted to make an impressions on that chapter. I think I read that chapter Sunday. And I wanted to make an impressions, but I was freaking tired and exhausted, and I wanted to go to bed, but I really wanted to make an impressions on that, so I just decided to save it for this video. The amount of development that Shiwon got when Jang died, the Elder Jang died, that was depressing. But, I mean, I liked the development he got, but it was depressing to see how such a great character that started off as a person that really disliked Shiwon, like, they didn't have a great beginning whatsoever. They didn't have a great beginning. But when you saw this certain piece of dialogue that the Elder said to Shiwon, it's like, but we will have a great ending. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's fucked up, man. I'm actually gonna get a tear in my eye. That dude, I'm actually imagining the panel I saw when you see the Elder bleeding and all that. He's like bleeding. He's looking down. You see Shiwon in his arms, and when you see all the Sunwo clan fighting the police force and all that. Oh my god, dude, the emotions in that, and the connections to when they first met, that was sad as fuck. That was fucking sad. That takes the cake for the saddest chapters in the BreakerNW Waves. That is by far the best chapter in my eyes. Besides the fights with the Elder Kwon, that was by far the most emotional chapter. I mean, Shiho was a very emotional chapter too, especially when the Nine Arch Dragon broke down the original, the Breaker, but after we found out when the BreakerNW Waves began, Shiho technically is still alive. She's comatose, but she is still alive. So, the overall impact from that scene has technically died down in my eyes, but it's still a very fucking sad scene. It's still sad because technically Shiho is still comatose, so she could technically still die. But I mean, the point of it is that the overall death of the Elder Jang, that was a lot more impactful, because the development that laid on Shiwon was amazing. Like I said, that's what really made him become mature, what really made him accept being ahead of the Sunwo clan, and it made him become a lot more intelligent with his power. And that is when I really started respecting the series a lot more. That's when my overall respect flipped on top of itself. It's like, holy shit, this is amazing. Now, moving on past that entire bit, I want to talk about one of my favorite characters from this series. Hands down, my favorite character. Besides technically Shiwon, since he's pretty badass when he fights, there's a couple of characters I really fucking love. Oh my god, I love these certain individual characters I'm about to start talking about. I love Elder Kwon, the old man of the Sunwo clan, one of the Grandmasters, the 10 Grandmaster. Holy shit, dude. That dude is a certified fucking badass. If there's anyone that has a name tag that says badass on it, and don't fuck with me, that's what'll be on his tag. Like, Elder Kwon, certified badass, don't fuck with me. That would be on his badge. That would be his job description, okay? He would flash this at anyone when he goes to, like, get some alcohol or something. He'll flash this, like, don't fuck with me. Because that old man, he is the freaking meaning of a fucking badass. When I saw his introduction of his powers, when he wrecked SUC all by himself, and then when he wrecked the military, I'm like, dude, that was one of the chapters I want to do a reaction to also. Elder Quan, man. He is like this, like a fucking old man with his arms behind his back. He's walking, and I remember the panel specifically in my mind. I remember it. He was just walking down the fucking road, and you see these people coming out, and these freaking little SUC clan members, these people are like, let's worship God, Kami-sama, let's worship God. They're all thinking, that they can fight this old man, this feeble old man. He gave them the giant-ass middle finger with a fist to the face. You know what? I don't even know what the Elder Quan did, okay? He was just walking, and you saw everybody around him, like probably 30 people around him, wrecked in under a second. Under a fucking second. Elder Quan wrecked everybody. And you see people freaking flying in the sky and all that. You see people, like, their arms are all broken, faces broken in. Dude, Elder Quan, man. Holy hell, that dude is fucking OP. Oh my god, I love him. And it actually has me worried about the latest chapter of the BreakerNW Waves. A couple chapters ago, I think about 3 chapters ago, chapter 175, I think that's it. We see Elder Quan that is actually injured. He's currently injured, and he's fighting one of the main enemies, one of the main masterminds that's been controlling the Nine-Arched Dragon the entire time, trying to take over Korea, pretty much. The thing is that Elder Quan is actually hurt from an explosion. You see him bleeding. His hand is really fucking bleeding. It's actually the first time in the course of this series, through the BreakerNW Wave, we have actually seen Elder Quan damaged. The first time ever. And that actually has me scared, because he's in a fight to actually stall this dude from messing with, Shiwon. That's exactly what his goal is, to stall against this strong opponent. And the thing is that this person that Elder Quan is fighting is the one person that his master technically died. If I'm understanding that correctly, that's why his master died to this person. And so that entire scene, when I found out about that, like, dude, this is a certified death flag. It is a certified death flag, and I'm actually worried about Elder Quan after that entire scene. I really was fucking worried. I'm not joking with you. And so, I'm curious exactly where that's going to go. I hope he does not die. I really hope he doesn't. Because him wrecking face, wrecking military, and wrecking everybody, and putting the fear of God, not the Nine-Arched Dragon God, but the fear of fucking Kami-sama into everybody's freaking brains is always good. Ugh. When he gives that evil face with the fucking aurora around him and all that, oh, dude, that's fucking badass, dude. Dude, that is badass, man. Holy shit, man. When he puts the fear of God, oh my god, man. Elder Quan, I love you, boy. You badass. Bad fucking ass. Okay, moving off of Elder Quan, I want to talk about another awesome character. The Ghostly Doctor. Holy shit. Dude, I was shocked, man. When I saw Elder Quan fighting the Ghostly Doctor, I was freaking terrified when I found out that this dude was pretty much on the level of Elder Quan. I was like, when a dude is on the level of Elder Quan, I'm like, oh fuck. I was like, oh my god, this dude, man, just wrecked Shiwon like it was nothing. If he was fucking serious, Shiwon would be a pile of nothing. He'd be a pile of meat. He'd be meat on the floor if the Ghostly Doctor was serious at the time when he fought Shiwon. Oh my god. I think even at this time, the Ghostly Doctor, and even Elder Quan, would probably wreck, destroy, absolutely destroy Shiwon. I'm willing to bet it at the moment. But we currently haven't seen technically Shiwon fight after the state when his new meditation used that the Ghostly Doctor told him. We technically haven't seen him fight fully since he's technically exhausted at the moment. But still, I personally believe that the Ghostly Doctor and Elder Quan could probably still beat the shit out of Shiwon at this moment. Now, besides the Ghostly Doctor and all that, there's a couple of things I do want to cover. Of course, there's going to be a lot of you Chibits are going to ask me this question. Who is Best Girl? Since there's a lot of people that have probably been reading this series for quite a long time, they probably have a favorite female character. There's 2 main focused female characters in this series. And now, actually, there's technically 3 main female characters. And, actually, I want to talk about the third one, the less obvious one. I think her name is Saehi, like S-A-E-H-E-E, Saehi. I'm just going to say it like that, Saehi. Her character, she was introduced in the first part of The Breaker. She was the classmate, childhood friend of Shiwon. She's just a regular, average girl. The thing is that she's been in this series, and she's actually had, constant reoccurrence when it comes to appearances in the series, but she has been absolutely useless. When it comes to a standpoint of importance to the story and everything, Sae is just outright freaking useless. She is useless. I mean, the only thing she has done is to become a hostage for she wanted to get hurt or save her. Especially the entire school event. When, the Elder Jane got killed. She is absolutely fucking useless. She is. And it has me questioning what importance is she going to have if the writer of this series continues to keep her in this. Like, what importance does she have? So, I'm just curious exactly where her story's going to go. I thought she would have had more importance in the Breaker New Waves after the first part of the Breaker, with the entire build-up with the school bully when she won. I thought she would have had more development eventually, but no, she's still MIA. I don't even think we have seen her since the Elder Jane type arc in the Breaker New Waves. I don't think we have actually seen her since. So, yeah, that's pretty fucking ridiculous. She's actually pretty useless. Anyways, past that entire bit, let's get into the other two main focus characters. That's pretty freaking obvious. That most likely is best girl for anybody. You got Jinnie, and then you got Sayada. Sayada and Jinnie. Hopefully I'm saying their names right. But Jinnie, her character design, I like her character design. After both of the characters, both girls, okay? I want to tell you right now, Sayada is my favorite. She's best girl in my eyes. But Jinnie has a very unique character design. I love her red hair. I love her character design. I like her attitude and personality. She's a really cool character, and I loved her introduction into the Breaker New Wave. I have nothing against her at all. But I'm looking at this at a standpoint, okay? In terms of plot development, importance to the overall story, Jinnie had some importance at the beginning of the Breaker New Wave. She did, definitely. I can't deny that. She definitely had importance for the Breaker New Waves. But in overall perspective, Sayada has been a lot more important when it comes to the development of the story. She is definitely a lot more important. She is intelligent. She is smart. She's coming up with plans. She overall has shown a lot more progression to the story than Jinnie even has. And the only real progression we've had with Jinnie is the entire bit with her grandpa, Elder Quan, and the connection with the mother and stuff, all those issues with the Sun Wo clan. Besides that, Jinnie has pretty much been useless after that point. I'm going to be honest here. She technically has been useless after that. I mean, she's a good character. I'm not putting her down, but she has technically been useless. She hasn't really had any major fights. She hasn't had anything that really caused her to shine up to this point. And so, really, I'm still waiting for that time when she actually starts to shine again. But at the moment, Sayada is best girl in my eyes. The way how intelligent she is, how quick she is to think, how she comes up with these plans, how farsighted she is to when she can actually see ahead, just everything like that, that makes me really love her character a lot. Now, one more thing I will say though, the SUC, their characters, I want to say right now, they're fucking retarded, man. SUC, Soldiers Under Command. A bunch of retarded civilians pretty much getting medicine to brainwash and give them martial arts power to fight. You know what? I can look past the SUC, okay? Calling them God. They're being brainwashed. Fine. But that school bully that was fighting, she won. I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know if he's dead or not. Is he dead? I don't remember. Did he fucking die? Like, against, the Elder Jane type part of the series? Did he die? Because I remember he went unconscious. He overused the medicine. His body was breaking down. Shiwon stopped him. Did he die? Please only confirm this if he died, because I actually haven't seen him in a while. But either way, overall, just the perspective of the SUC, they're brainwashed puppets. They're retarded, calling the Nine Arch Dragon, Kami-sama! 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 Save us, Kami-sama. That's just how they are. And it's pathetic. It's fucking pathetic. And it seems like the Nine Arch Dragon is actually under the same spell. It seems like his drug is a little bit different, but I think he's also being brainwashed. They haven't really specifically went out of their way to say that the Nine Arch Dragon is brainwashed, but clearly, from what has been shown, from him losing his memories with Shiwon, it's setting it up to where he's actually being brainwashed and being manipulated. I mean, it's pretty obvious he's being manipulated since the Shadow Warriors set up Shiho's death. Like, they shot her and tried to piss off, the Nine Arch Dragon to go into the Black Origin Threshold, and so it's clear that the Shadow Warriors want to manipulate the Nine Arch Dragon. It's obvious by now, but I think he's under some form of drug, medication, because they said he was taking medicine. He hasn't taken it yet, and that explains why he's getting headaches, withdrawal symptoms. It looks like he's having withdrawal symptoms, and it seems like he might start remembering, his disciple. and that might lead into the overall conclusion and change of the Nine Arch Dragon into a good guy. The main central focus of this I've seen is setting up the Nine Arch Dragon as a villain, but clearly the Nine Arch Dragon is not a villain. At the end of the day, he is not. It's the Shadow Warriors and this dude called Kaiser with the Lolly Princess Sosil. I think that's how you're saying them. The Lolly Princess Sosil that used to be the head of the Sun Wo clan, Kaiser and the Shadow Warriors. They're the main villains. They are definitely the main villains, and the Nine Arch Dragon is just a pawn in their game, a fucking puppet. He's being used like a fiddle or a puppet, and it's pretty fucked up, really, because, I mean, we're at the conclusion where the Nine Arch Dragon is getting his final, fight. Probably. We're probably going to see the final fight here. Either the Nine Arch Dragon is going to die, either he's going to make a new leaf, he's going to change, or something else is going to happen, he's going to escape. But clearly, this is probably like the halfway point, I think, of the Breaker New Waves. I want to say it right now. Clearly, right now, chapter 177, this is getting close to probably the halfway point. Once this little fight ends, the halfway point, I think, of the Breaker New Waves is going to end. And most likely, knowing how it's going, we might actually have a time skip that goes further, like a part 3 or something, that goes past the Breaker New Waves because of the Shadow Warriors along with Kaiser and the Lolly Princess, because there's just a lot to be answered, explained, and done. So, for the most part, the Breaker New Waves, very good, exceeded my expectations when it comes to a series. Cannot wait to actually see the next chapter. If anyone knows when the next chapter is going to be out, please let me know. I'm waiting for chapter 178, and it's not out yet, and supposedly the last chapter that came out was in the end of October, but it's, technically middle of November right now. It's like November 4th right now. I think the last chapter was October 24th. That's actually a long time ago. That's like a couple weeks ago. So if anyone knows why we haven't actually had a chapter of the Breaker New Waves in a couple weeks, please let me know. Are we on a hiatus? Are we on break? What's going on? Please, one of you Chibits, let me know. Well, anyways, I want to conclude this here. If you want to see weekly reviews of the Breaker New Waves when it actually gets on schedule, let me know in the comments below, and I'll gladly do weekly reviews. You all have a wonderful day or not, wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.